Welcome to an afternoon celebrating the 10-year journey of the Susanna Wesley Foundation, which we're calling Learning to Make a Difference, Journeying with the Susanna Wesley Foundation. And we're doing so by focusing the afternoon around the notion of learning to make a difference. And that's something which is arguably at the heart of all activity in all universities, of all teaching and research, although how that learning from research is disseminated and ultimately translated into policies and into actions and practices determines whether it does actually bring about flourishing and positive change. Hence the knowledge exchange agenda in HE. And our first presentation, where we learn from and about Billy Waters, interesting to see whether you've heard of Billy Waters, you'll find out later, is a good illustration of intentional activity by academics to spread insights and to maximize the impact of research. Mary and Heyman's agenda is change, I think that's right, with exciting learning programs and other outputs developed from the original research, and also with work to evaluate whether these have made a difference. That case study is one which we in the Susanna Wesley Foundation, I'm going to start calling us SWF from now on, it's a bit of a mouthful otherwise, have been very pleased to support because of these activities and the outcomes. But we're also supporting it because we too want to learn about how to do this, how to amplify the effects, extend the reach of research activity, and also determining whether there has been positive impact. So, learning from research in order to make a difference is not only part of the rationale of universities, it also pervades the work of the Susanna Wesley Foundation and of its parent body, Southlands Methodist Trust. It is there in the Trust's charitable objectives, or objects, and the posters at the back of the room, which I hope you've managed to look at and speak to the researchers who compiled them, demonstrate some of the research from across the university to which the Trust has contributed support. There are some great examples of projects which have the potential to change lives for the better, and I think some of them have done so already in some way. So thank you to the academics who are here among us, who have joined us and who have talked to you about that research. And we very much hope that you will return to those posters during the coffee break and talk to them and find out more. So just to tell you a little bit more about the Susanna Wesley Foundation and how learning to make a difference is built into its work. We describe the foundation as a centre for research, dialogue and innovation. It was set up in response to a research consultation exercise in the Methodist Church, an exercise which identified a need for inquiry and research around equipping people to be effective practitioners, to make a difference to the work and outreach of the church. And I should say that Christopher Stevens, currently head of Southlands College over there, with the support of David Deeks, who I believe is here with us, David, over there, nice to see you here, who was then chair of Southlands Methodist Trust. They're here with us, and they were fundamental to the birth of SWF and all that it has become. And we wouldn't be here today celebrating without them. So, should be a round of applause at this point. Oh. And that aim of making a difference has made a difference to how the foundation has crafted its purposes, its involvement, its activities. It's informed its areas of interest and its favoured methodologies, its preferences for participative action research. And wherever possible, it has looked to participate in or fund work where making a difference is integral to both the process and the purpose. And there's going to be more later of the potential for integrating research, practice, and learning in non-linear ways to achieve change. So you'll hear more about that later in the programme. And we've been on a journey to determine whom we can support in their work, discovering academics, practitioners, practitioner researchers, or as somebody said to me recently, pracademics. I like that word. Pracademics. There are quite a lot around here, I think, looking around the room, who are pracademics. Movement founders, And we've looked at their projects, their approaches, their favoured methodologies, in order to contribute to work and research which might actually make a difference in churches and faith communities, but more broadly too, in line with the imperative of seeking justice, which is central to the church and informs our work too. So this afternoon is celebrating just some of the people and projects with whom we've had the honour to be connected or to whom we have provided some funding. Doctoral students whom we've sponsored, Roehampton academic theologians and researchers, practitioners and ministers who've joined in the research, reflecting on data and findings, and sometimes changing their own practice accordingly. Those whose insights have informed our approach and who have connected through us to the work of the Methodist Church around justice and inclusion and learning. And academics from various disciplines in Roehampton and elsewhere to whom we provided some funding and whose agenda has been to enable positive change in individual lives and collective movements. The biographies of all those who are speaking can be found via the conference link or the QR code, which you'll find along the wall there, yes, everywhere. So please do use it to find out about our speakers and presenters. They all deserve lengthy and enthusiastic introductions to honour their experience and their expertise and their excellence, but time is limited, our contributors are modest, and there will be opportunity to find out more over coffee, drinks and dinner. So I will enthusiastically identify our presenters as we go along, but without fulsome introductions. I hope that's okay with them all. I haven't really checked that, but that's what's going to happen. And there are many others to celebrate too, and many of you who have been instrumental in our work over the last 10 years. Looking around the room, it's lovely to see some of you whom we've connected with and we've somehow walked alongside at times. So even if you're not formally contributing, we know you're there and we're pleased you're there. So thank you to you all, friends, colleagues and associates. And there will be some moments towards the end of the programme when some of these others and their work will be brought to the fore, and we'll just touch on some other things after we've completed the formal programme. So we've been on a lengthy journey, but now to this afternoon's excursion, I think might be a way of describing it. And I think it's on an express train with glimpses of different work as we speed along to this evening's dinner and drinks, when we hope you might have more opportunities to find out more about one another. So we're whetting your appetite for some of the work that we've actually will be talking about this afternoon. But our focus for today is on learning which makes a difference, and on learning how to make a difference, and on learning as a subject of study in and of itself. And the different projects and activities which feature this afternoon connect into that quest to understand learning, create opportunities for learning, maximise the positive impact of what is learnt through research and inquiry, and to bring together, to integrate research, learning and practice. In our programme, a number of disciplines are represented: sociology, business and law, English literature and theology. And we'll see the benefit of employing participative methodologies and action research, and we will also see the value of relationship and conversation in enabling learning and tackling issues of justice and inclusion. So all these elements, multidisciplinarity, action, inquiry and research, conversational, relational approaches, and work towards justice, belonging and inclusion have been important to our evolution as an organisation. So the programme has been designed to give some flavour of how these values and principles have played out in our work.